Hey everyone, I am Dr. Dream. It is November 10th, Monday. You found yourself at the It's All Good Circle. You're either here live, like this beautiful set of squares in front of me. Not that you're squares, just that you're in a box. Not that you're in a box. Just anyway, you know what I'm saying. And the rest of you that are watching this are watching it after the fact, and that's totally awesome also. Um, so before we jump into our topic for tonight, which I'm always excited about the topics, but one of the things that I like recently is that the topics have moved from someone making a whole big presentation to all of us just kind of jumping in and sharing, and I'm finding it to be really soul satisfying for me. So we'll kind of keep with that, and along the way up there's someone shows up in my world or you send someone my way that wants to be the presenter, we'll pop them in, but in the meantime I'm enjoying this. um so I've learned some lessons. I learned a big lesson in the last week, and I want to share it with everyone. I don't know if y'all read the newsletter or look at my musings page on itsallgood.com, but I'm going to actually literally read something that I was drawn to put together in the last week. You all know that I am putting together, Stephanie and I are putting together the 2026 Tour of Love. And we decided to put this tour together on October 21st, a couple days after my birthday, while soaking in Miracle in Lava Hot Springs, Idaho, an hour from where we live, and we get so many of our great ideas while we're soaking in hot water. And so we just came up with it, and then I just took that ball and ran with it and went big. And I think I mentioned last week we're getting prices on 21 little bottles of essential oil and a custom made box and custom chakra chocolates and all this stuff. And all of a sudden, the expense for this was reaching up to $50,000 or $60,000 to pull off this tour in upfront costs for us. And then the venues weren't quite falling into place, and people that I wanted to call me back weren't calling me back, and I started to get really stressed. And so I'm just going to jump in and read what I wrote. Title: Making Plans, Taking Action, Releasing Expectation, and Allowing the Flow. There's a beautiful balance between our intentions and the greater intelligence that moves life itself. We are not meant to simply drift without direction, nor are we meant to tighten our grip around every outcome we desire. The art is in learning how to guide our energy without forcing the river to change its course. This is the journey. Make the plan, take the step, release the result, trust the flow. Number one, making plans, choosing the direction. A plan is not a contract with the universe. It is a declaration of desire. It is the moment you say, this is where I feel called. This is what resonates. This is what lights my spirit. When we create a plan, we clarify intention. We set our frequency towards something meaningful, and we align our energy with movement rather than stagnation. The plan is the compass. It gives orientation, but it does not demand rigidity. Number two, taking action, aligning energy with motion. Action is where intention becomes embodied. It is the spark that tells the universe, I am not just dreaming, I am participating. Taking action does not require knowing every step. Often we only see the next few feet of the path, but that is enough. The journey unfolds step by step, not all at once. So what does action say? It says, I am ready, I am willing, I am open. I'm not waiting for clarity, I'm creating it. Momentum reveals pathways that waiting cannot. Number 3, releasing expectation, letting go of control. Expectation, when clutched tightly, becomes resistance. That's wild, right? Expectation, when clutched tightly, becomes resistance. We attempt to script the how, the when, and the form our desire must take. But the universe rarely delivers in the exact way the mind imagines. Releasing expectation is not letting go of the intention itself, it's letting go of the attachment to the form. When you release expectation, you say, I trust that this or something better is on the way. I don't need to control the unfolding to feel safe. I open my hands and allow life to surprise me. Now, releasing expectation frees energy. It makes space for miracles. Number 4, allowing the flow of the universe, moving with, not against. Once we have set the direction and taken action, the final step is surrender. This is the practice of allowing. Allowing does not mean passivity. It means receptivity. It means listening. It means being moved rather than forcing movement. When we allow the flow, we follow subtle nudges. We respond rather than react. We recognize synchronicity as guidance rather than coincidence. Life becomes less about effort and more about alignment. And number 5, the dance of co-creation. We are co-creators, not controllers and not spectators. You set your intention. The universe responds with opportunities and signs. You take inspired action. The universe opens or directs the path. You release expectation. The universe removes friction and resistance. You allow the flow. The universe brings harmony, ease, and unexpected support. The magic lies in the dynamic relationship between your clarity and the universe's wisdom. A simple mantra to carry forward: I choose my direction. I take aligned steps. I release control. I trust the flow. And just in closing, you're not meant to push the river. You are here to journey with it. The more you soften, the more you listen, the more you trust, the more life becomes a conversation rather than a struggle. Your desire is valid. Your trust is the bridge. Let the universe guide the unfolding. It knows the way. And I cannot tell you, but I'm going to try, how much that has changed things for me, attaching myself to releasing the expectation, allowing the flow. I was trying to force things. I was finding myself very challenged. I had one venue say, "Oh, Dr. Dream, we would love to have your event here. And for the time you're asking and everything, it's $10,000 rental." Just drop me. And so I've completely released. This just really happened on Friday night. I have completely released my expectation around it. This really big tour and this big production. I'm like, hey, if it happens, it happens. We are putting things in place. I got a message just about a half hour ago from our recording studio that said, we found the person to be the voice of Gus, God, Universe, Source. We're sending you a sound clip. And not only is the owner of the recording studio excited to see the production, but the voice of Gus is like, I hope it comes somewhere, this, production comes somewhere to Idaho. And so getting great feedback from everywhere we turn. And I'm like, you know what? The universe may have something totally different in store for us for 2026. It may not look like 20 weeks of touring. And I'm okay with that. So it has released a lot in my field, and I'm just like, okay, this feels, like that constriction that, was getting me up at 5:30 every morning and at the computer till 8:30 every night is now expansion that's getting me up at 5:30 every morning and having me at the computer till 8:30 every night. But it's a whole different energetic, and I know that we're all going through a lot. I would be short-sighted to think that I'm the only one going through a lot of stuff in life, and that's why I wanted to share that with you. Like energy attracts like energy, and those of you that show up here on Monday night, you all are, a certain aspect of my core, and as such, I feel that we're all dealing with some of the same stuff. So I just wanted to share that with you. And if it can lighten your journey a little bit, because it lightened my journey a lot, then it was all worth it. And otherwise, it was just a nice story to share. Now, on to tonight's topic, which is the little things that lift us. And it is subtitled Small Moments, Big Impact. And I really like this because I want to know what those things are for each of you, and how they play out and everything like that. I'm not going to do the timer. There's not that many on. We're in great shape. So I'm going to go ahead and as always, I like to start so no one feels on the spot. Now, I have to say that I'm so steeped in gratitude that this was actually tough, as there's so many little things that lift me and lift my spirits and shift my energy. I feel like my life is made up of those small moments. I mean, there are the big moments, the big things happen that lift me, but more to the point is my life is full of these small moments that are filled with little things that lift me, and one of them is that thing that I talk about, where like in the grocery store or in the wherever I look people in the eye that I don't know, and I express gratitude for just them being there and everything. And so the little things that lift me up would be the smile that I give to someone and the smile that I get back from them. It's like just nothing attached to it other than you're here, I'm here. I've got gratitude for this moment and for you. And their smile back is that same, it's like namaste, that same thing. And it's to me, it's that circle that we complete when we're present and not thinking, oh, here's the whole list of everything I'm going to do when I get out of the grocery store. It's like, no, I'm present right now, and this person is playing a really lovely role in this moment for me, and I want to share that connection. There's also those times where a part of me is being maybe critical of myself, and that negative self-talk, which I'm like anyone else, it happens. And then I take a step back and take a breath, and I look at all that I've accomplished and who I truly am and where my heart is at. And in that moment, and it's just a little thing because I'm just taking a moment to be ultra present. And it's like, no, everything's good. And it shuts down that voice. There's also those moments where my dog Bliss sees me and she comes running up to me with just unbridled joy and just this unconditional love. There's also those moments where Stephanie sees me and she comes running up to me with unbridled joy and unconditional love. And, those are the things, those are the times that's, the list, that's all I wrote down, but the list kind of goes on and on and on for me. And it's, I think there's a trick to finding joy in every moment. It's, we were talking before everyone got here, and it's like, we wake up in the morning and take a breath, and it's like, well, I guess it's going to be another good day. And so, yeah, and I mean, look at this. I live in the it's all good world, and if it doesn't seem that way, it just means I don't understand it yet. So I'm going to stop now. And Phil, will you go ahead and jump in? Because you know how I like to call on you second.
That's perfect. Um, so as you were talking about that, you talked earlier about how you made notes. Well, I a lot of times get this notion that I want to make notes, and then I go, no, I want to go with what's happening, how I feel at the moment. Let it be, it brings out something more personal to me. And as you were talking about that, I'm thinking about, being a high achiever, there comes a cost. And that cost sometimes is that people want to have a piece of us. And I'm not saying that, as me as something special. No, I'm saying that, when we're out there, we're making things happen and we're doing things, and we really sometimes be careful what you attract. And I don't mean that in a good way or a bad way, but it's testing us in this ability to say no and to understand what that means, and that it's okay. Um, I haven't been really all that good at that, and sometimes I suffer from this complex of trying to get everything done and do everything, and I have so many things going on, and I love it because that's how I am. I'm not somebody that, okay, I can invest, I can take my money and I can invest in things, and I can sit and play with the stock market and Bitcoin and da gold and silver, and I can but that's not who I am. I want to be out doing things. I'm not good at just sitting and watching some numbers and playing it, because money really doesn't mean that much to me, even though I like to have it. I don't, it's just an interesting thing. But um, as you were talking about putting this whole tour together and whatnot, and then we find ourselves in want. And as we're in want, we found that we're in lack. And then when we let that go, that's really when the shit appears and starts to happen. and I wish I had the ability to assimilate all the information and all the knowledge that I've accumulated over these years of all these people that we get to know. And I mean, man, I feel sometimes like I should be way advanced of where I am because of everything that I know. But I get in the way. And I have to allow it to be okay. And and go on and be who I am and accept it, and it's all okay. But that high achiever thing comes back, and it's an interesting dichotomy that we live in. Um, and it's a bit cyclical, where and I talk about this place of B, which is that being level. It's not this, it's not that, it's getting to this place where we can just allow it all to be okay. And part of why I love to be involved in this kind of stuff is because I need to be. Because I'm still out there looking, like most people, we're all struggling in some way, and it's okay. And I share that because I would love to say, oh yeah, my life is perfect. I'm in this place of being, no, I know how to go there. I have moments with it, but I struggle with it on other sides of the spectrum. Um, but the good news is I have more feelings of wellness and goodness than I do da da da. I'd like to sleep better, but that's coming.
Plenty of time to sleep when this is all over.
That's right. Apparently, sleep is highly overrated. Thank
Bill,
you.
thank you for sharing. Always a treat. I'm not sure what your little things in life that lift you were, but I loved everything that you say. So I'm going to be okay with it.
It all lifts me. It just, there's, like I say, the no thing is the biggest struggle. Um, is how to. I'm getting better. So there.
Well, I appreciate you and thank you so much. Destiny, are you good to jump in here?
Yes, I believe I am. My laptop started malfunctioning, so I'm just on my phone now. How
Okay.
do I sound?
You sound fine. A little bit muffled, but I'm going to be okay with it.
All right. Um, so I think what I have found the most valuable in my life as far as things that lift me up is really supporting myself with good daily habits. And that's always been a struggle for me in my life. I very much struggle with consistency. I'll start my good daily habits and I'll do them for a while and I'll feel so great. And then I feel so great I don't need them anymore. And slowly they start going away. And then I start not feeling so good. So I bring them back. Um, but there's so many little things that I like to do. There's sometimes maybe I just keep too much on myself. And so I'm like, got this whole 2 hour routine and I can only do that for so many days in a row before it's just way too overwhelming. Um, but even just doing a little thing like waking up in the morning to immediately relieve myself, scrape my tongue, brush my teeth, and drink a bunch of water is such an absolutely fabulous way to start my day. And it really sets the tone. And if I don't do it, then I'm going to have itchy teeth and I'm not going to wake up very good because I didn't drink my water and I probably put some sugar or something else difficult to digest and not great for me first thing in the morning. So even that little simple thing can really make the difference in how my day is going to go. Um, and also, I believe that I've gotten much more even keel after learning how to relax. Our society is so go, go, go. So do it all, do it now. And you will always be able to put way more on your plate than you have the bandwidth to handle. And I definitely have done that many times. And there's some simple things that really help to make sure that you allow your system to go into a state of relaxation. And meditation is one of my favorite. Um, I'm sure you probably are all familiar with Shavasana, which is just corpse pose, just lying down with your body flat, on your back, letting your everything just relax totally. And Ayurveda recommends doing that for 10 minutes twice a day, just to recharge yourself. Um, And you can think about things if you want to. You can doing a body scan is incredibly relaxing. It really helps. Um, to just to just let everything go and connect with yourself, and just know that everything will be okay without you for a few minutes. So that's a wonderful practice that I like. And the point is not to sleep. Laying down to sleep can definitely put um, that's not exactly what the point of it is, but relaxing and having good relaxation techniques is incredible. And um, and nature. Nature is my absolute favorite thing in life. You can access nature from wherever. You can. driving in your car, stepping outside your door, going somewhere to enjoy it. It doesn't matter if you just pay attention to the sky every morning and every afternoon and every evening. It's different and it's so beautiful. It's just whenever you need a pick me up, nature can provide it. Um, yeah, those are my things that I wanted to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Destiny. Such great reminders. And corpse pose is my favorite pose. And I happen to be incredibly good at it. No, not to make light of it, but it is a good reminder. Just sounds so funny. Okay, I'm okay. I did have extra coffee today, and so I just sort of anyway. Let's move on before I fall deeper into a hole. Now I can't see everyone, so I'm just going to let Gail. I saw you, Gail.
Hi. Okay. About a decade ago, I had a feeling that I didn't know what joy was anymore. So I made a happy list, which is 20 or 25 things that always make me smile. And I read that list hourly, because I was trying to reprogram things. And I got to the point where I could recite it verbatim, and realized that all of a sudden I was starting to look and see and feel joy again. So I don't read the list anymore. I'm not sure where that paper is. But I have some things that consistently make me smile every time. Hummingbirds, butterflies, even the little ones that aren't super splashy and beautiful colored, even the little white ones and the little yellow ones. Wiggling puppies that are happy. And same thing for kittens. But I think the one that just simply sets me to being peaceful and not brings me back to the moment these days is when the sunlight hits the crystals that I have hanging in my window, and I have rainbows all across the walls of my living room and kitchen. And I just sit. I don't sit still very often, and I'm usually doing something. I might be meditating, but I'm usually doing something. I don't usually just sit and go, ah. And those rainbows on my kitchen wall do that for me. That's it.
Thank you, Gail. While you were speaking, I've not made a like definitive happy list, but I was thinking about it and I thought you and I have connected just about every week this year. And so I'm pretty sure if I made a happy list right now, Gail, that you would be on that list because just the thought of you, your dedication to your own process, your support of everything that I do. So I couldn't help myself but mention that. And so thank you. And I love you. Well, there we go. That was a little thing, and that just lifted me. Who's going to be next? Let's see. All you have to do is unmute your mic, and I will see that. I don't see all the pictures. Justin.
Hello.
Hi.
How long time no see, Brother Bear.
It has been a long time. I'm
I
so
miss you.
touched that you're here.
Yeah, you look amazing. By the way, love your transformation since I've seen you. I'll turn my light on so you can see me.
Be careful driving.
I know, good. I actually, with me having astigmatism, when I have a light on in my car, it actually helps me not get blinded as much by the lights on the road.
That's nice.
Contradictory to what a lot of people would believe in such a situation. So listening to you, just to preface, I miss you, Brother Bear. You've been a good elder and a bright light in my life. Even if I witness you from afar, the brief interactions I've had with you over the years have always been profound, and it's amazing to be here sharing space with you. I miss you so very much. I was just at Halloween, like thinking of you. I love you, brother, so very much. I'm gonna share with all that I resonate with everything that you guys said, from this, just all the positive things that you've done for people. You know me pretty well. Like as a performer, I've traveled all over the world, bringing smiles to people's faces, changing people's lives. I've had people from like in the past decade since I've been doing this, like just say, man, 7 or 8 years ago, you dropped some knowledge, you shared space with me, and you changed my life. And I've had so many people throughout the years come and bring that energy back to me as it served them, and that brings a smile to my face. Paul, you talked about the other side of the spectrum, which I like the polarity between so Dreams, statements is that like there, and I resonate with it, is that there is beauty in all life's experiences. My pain and my suffering has been a gift to teach me lessons that I've never known, and through that suffering, I've been able to show it for so many people. So my lowest lows are something that brings a smile on my face because of the lessons that I've learned to help people henceforth. Um, I appreciate what I do to ground. It makes me smile. Like sitting with Mama. I'm gonna try to combine your gas with the meditating, sitting, especially like me being an earth worshiper, a goddess worshiper. Like first and foremost, seeing anything in nature brings a smile on my face. But to digress back and cycle back, it's genuinely is when I on some like bodhisattva experience is when I can show up for other people. When I know that the presence that I have, the knowledge that I share, and the things that I can do for people do change their lives. And I've been validated that enough in this way. Like it's always been amusing to people with people who have limited themselves in a lot of these matrix grids and these energies. Like, oh, you can't change the world, and I'm just like, I already have. And I'm surrounded by people that do and continue to do so. And it's just like, I'm thankful. I wanted to make this last week, but I was moving and I missed it. So, but I guess I could have been more present with this one. So I guess it's a line for me to show up here now. But Brother Bear, you met me when I was a little boy, and I'm really proud of the man that I've become and who sits before you now. And it's just really nice to share space with you all, truly. So my concise answer is helping other people. That's tip top. When I help somebody, that fills my cup. If I can pour from my cup that overflows, honestly, as somebody who is a practitioner has done a fuck ton of light magic. All that shit always comes back, and I mean with the thrice rule, you do dark magic, it goes down in thrice. At a certain point, I gotta share it. Otherwise, it becomes sinful. I gotta be like, hey, take this, do something with this, do something with this awesomeness. Otherwise, it's gonna hurt me. Like take from my cup, or it gets wasted. And like so many times, I'll go broke, and I'm just like, it'll come back, and then somebody hires me for a gig. It's just it's funny to me. As much as I give, I get back, and it's beautiful, and it's something you know all too well.
Justin, I so appreciate you being here. I was just thinking back. I think my daughter Maya and I met you the first time, maybe 10 years ago. And
I think it was 26, either 16 or 17. So it's
was it
probably close
16
to
or
8 or 9.
17?
8 or 9,
Okay.
yeah, 8 or 9 years.
And at that time, you showed up at the perfect moment, and Maya and I nicknamed you Justin Time. And you've had a profound impact on my life in ways that I really can't go into here. But so much gratitude. Yeah. And please, I think you sent me something recently of a Venmo that with your phone number. I'm going to follow up with you tomorrow.
Yeah.
All right, brother. Much love to you, and thank you
Okay.
so much for being here. Wow, you just never know who's going to come out of the
Yes, sir.
universal woodwork. That's so awesome. Excellent. Take care, brother. Thank you so much. All right. Wow. Moving along. I'm wow. Okay. I'm okay. So who's next here? All you got to do is release your mic, Karen Michaels.
Hey, Dr. Dream.
Hey, Karen. I see
I'm
that dream on your wall.
Oh, yeah, there it is. Yeah, we got a few things like that around here. I have to agree with Justin. I threw together a potluck dinner in less than a week that we held here on Saturday. And there were people that I see on a regular basis, but that we do not relax when we're together. We all belong to a community civic organization. So we're always fundraising, volunteering, so it's never, or we've got a guest speaker in the hour that we're there. And so I just said, I'm having a potluck dinner. Show up, I'm cooking a ham. We 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 had over 35 people here. We had so much food. It was just incredible. And it was a long day for me because John was volunteering somewhere else in the morning. And so it kind of left everything for me to, get ready. Luckily, it was just the ham that I had to cook. But even at the end of that day, I was just so happy because I got to spend time with my friends. We weren't being forced into making, like critical decisions about who's volunteering at this event, who's volunteering at that event. We were just able to be, as Phil says. We were just here. We were just able to be. We were here for 3 hours, and it was lovely. And I don't think I stopped smiling the whole night. So, I think friends, pets, family, all of those things that surround us are beautiful. Not all times. There are times when they're not. but it's being able to take those moments of time and say, this is a good moment of time. And this one I want to remember. And I had done this thing where I laid out butcher paper on my countertops because I knew everybody was bringing food, and everybody's always like, what's this? What's this? What's this? What's this? So I put the butcher paper down, and I made them so I could write down what they brought. And everybody was like, this is genius. And I'm like, it's not really genius. It's just smart. It's just easy way to do it. And then when they left, everybody picked up their dish and they wrote something to me. It was the sweetest thing. So that was really joyful. And so I would just say to people, when you can give back on a level like that to, even if they're people that you're, involved with on a regular basis, be they work, people you work with, people you socialize with, people you volunteer with. It's just nice, to step out of that ordinary role and be.
Thank you, Karen. I read your post about your weekend and I thought, there she goes again, just little inspirational for me. And it sounded so beautiful. And while I've never met you and John in person, I do feel like I know you, and your community service, how much you give of yourself, the things you've created that were selfless to help our EE system community and this and that. I'm just always in deep appreciation and gratitude for you, and feel blessed to know you and connect with you on a daily or every other day basis. And I really love that you've been at the last two Monday nights. I know that it's a little bit later there. I personally start to fade. I get up at 5:30 every morning and I start to fade, but it's not as late for me as it is for you. And so I just wanted to express appreciation for that also. It shows a commitment and a dedication, and that you're also, getting something out of this and giving something to this. And so I want to thank you.
Okay, well, thank you. I feel the same. And here comes one of my little joy bugs now. I think you may have seen her last week, the cat
Yes.
that walked. That one.
She makes an appearance. I love that.
Her name is Bella.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful Bella. Love it.
Yeah. She started this new thing. I think it's because it's cold. Where in the middle of the night, she comes and sits beside my head in the bed and she touches my face. And I'm like,
Oh, sweet.
what do you want? And it's like, I think she's cold. I don't know. It's been like the last 3 or 4 nights. And again, it makes me laugh. She wakes me up, but it makes me laugh. So.
Oh, I like that. I like that a lot. All
All
right.
right. Well, next one.
I see that Vienna has opened up her microphone, so that's a clear sign to me. Go ahead, Vienna.
Well, I decided I better hurry and go before my list gets any longer. I'm inspired by everybody. Quick while I can still read it. I got to the bottom line of the page. That was the real reason. Number sequences. I mean, when it's 11:01 on 11:01, I go, oh, I love it. I love it. I just, and I go, my steps are so ordered. I'm so guided. I turn to look at the clock right then, and I don't honestly look at the clock every minute like I want to. So that's meaningful. And these are not in any particular order except as they came. Today, it was so fun. I was driving to an appointment and a car came from this direction and one from this direction. And then it was like this really cool 3-step move. I think I shifted this lane, they shifted to that lane, and then somebody up the front did something else. And then it happened again 30 seconds later. And I was like, oh, God, I see what you did there. You did some synchronized driving. That was really pretty. It just made me smile. Um, Laughing with a friend. Oh my goodness, especially if a friend laughs at my jokes, right? That's always a bonus. Listening to mentors on YouTube. I just get happy. I've got half a dozen favorites and I just go between them. Music, like epic music, or like the personalized AO scan music now is pretty epic. And I can close my eyes and picture myself figure skating either by myself or with a partner. And it's just so fun. I can do things that nobody's ever dreamed of, right? 10 flips. No, it's just like very, very fun. Um, when I share something I love and the other person lights up, one of the biggest deals is like muscle checking, muscle testing. When somebody gets that for the first time, I just am happy for a long time because that light up just lights me up. Taking a nap in sunshine. Ooh. Even if it's on a hard floor, I just get happy. Seeing my favorite shades of purple. Purple's been my favorite color my entire life, purples and lavenders. And I just get happy. Yeah, hello. Essential oils. I don't use a bunch of them, but when I do remember to, I just, between the smell and the soaking in the skin and all the things, sunsets. I had a west-facing third floor apartment window or deck, and in a year I took over 500 sunset pictures. Not that I have years with 500 days, but I'd take 2 or 3 per night, just to be clear. And of all things, I never have thought very much about fairies, but a friend asked me, who's very intuitive, and she said, do you have like an animal that really means something to you? And I'm like, oh, what do you mean? And she's like, oh, like your spirit animal or something. I said, I really haven't known. I've been curious. And she said, well, there's a penguin with you right now, a penguin, a hummingbird, and one something like turkey vulture or something was like the one with the biggest wingspan. And I think there was one other bird. And she said, "Oh, there's a little tiny fairy, and she's so bored because you're not having very much fun lately." And I went, "I'm sorry. It's so good to meet you. Let's go have fun." And so just that delightfulness. And so now I look I look for my fairy. So that's my new fun. And one more, when someone shares that I gave them something that they still use, be it a material thing or a piece of information or a like the shrug chicken wing lean to get this part of your back to relax and get some blood flow in there. That lights me up. And then when I share with someone else that they've changed my life, that lights me up. I am complete.
Thank you, Vienna. I
Yep.
appreciate you. You
Yep.
mentioned you
When
mentioned
she
humor.
sang, go ahead.
You wait a sec, Justin. You mentioned humor, and I couldn't help but think back to the muscle testing podcast we did in Whitewater, Kansas. And I have never laughed so hard in a podcast. And we talked about taking the show on the road, which I'm still open to doing. Maybe you and I could open up one of our events with a little bit, humor is the best medicine. And you've taught me so much. And I've called you to lean on you and you've always shown up for me. So I just want to thank you. Justin, did you want to just say something real quick before we move on?
Yeah, so the craziest thing happened when she started singing. One of my earbuds literally bugged out and disconnected. You sang at such a high vibration, dude. My shit, I'm like geeking right now. My shit bugged out. So just still on that high vibrational realm shit, especially if you got somebody who practices with the fae. If you got fairies around you, work with that voice. Do something with that. You literally made like my tech bug. I'm like shook, right?
I love it. Thank you for sharing that, Justin. And thank you, Vienna. And Tamara, you have released
Yeah.
your microphone. So you're going to
Yes.
jump in and then Susie will jump in after you.
Well, I'd like to say everything that Vienna said and that Gail said and that Justin said, I feel the same. I'm just like, happy to be here, I guess, at this age. But it just reminded me of something that Vienna said that, there hasn't been a lot of rain in Florida lately. And we have like a, little, well, it's outdoors anyway. And there was a little anole that was in our house, the little lizards. And I'm like, oh, I'm wondering where I can get some water. I was trying to catch it to go outside, but it didn't. And so I put a little tiny, cap full of water, like out like next to the floor outside or inside here. Anyway, the next day I look and there's a little anole poop in the water. And I was so happy because I was like, oh, well, I had to look it up to see what an anole poop looked like because I really didn't know what a lizard poop looked like. But I was like, oh, it really did. It got the water that it needed. It was just like so joyful. I was so joyful. So that was what made me happy like a week ago. But, um, every day I wake up and look in the sky and just say, thank you so much. There's so many things that we don't know about. And I don't know, I'm just like a happy person. I work with old people. I'm a hairdresser for assisted living. So I go to different places, 3 days a week. And there's so many interesting people. Oh my gosh. Like, I'm doing this woman's hair. She was the first Mother Goose in Barney, in the Barney series on TV. She's the first Mother Goose. And she was in a movie with Renee Zellweger in the whole wide world. And I'm doing this guy's hair. He was an evangelist in the whole world. He's gone to every country in the world, except for like two or three. I get to meet these people, man. It's like so cool. And so that's especially about the Anoli poop. That was really cool. But that's about it. That's all.
So we're not done yet tonight, but you may get the award for the littlest thing and a noli poop that lifts us. And so
Absolutely, man.
that's awesome.
If that can do it, Right.
It's finding the joy and the
That's
no, you're
it.
awesome.
That's it.
Thank you for
That was
sharing,
cool.
dear.
Well,
Susie,
thank you.
you're right there. You've unmuted again. I'm going to let you jump in right now.
Okay. So everybody's lifts me up too. And I have these great big huge windows where my computer is when I write. And so I feel like I'm the one in the cage, and these deer come by and they look me right in the eye, and it's like that just. And then I got a wild bunny that I feed, and she is lets me, he knows, I think he's going to live there by that place where I feed him. But the animals around here, they lounge around in my yard. I just sent Dr. Dream a picture of a 6-point buck laying under my apple tree, and I made some dinner for my next door neighbor who's recovering from a serious surgery, and that uplifted me. And I always keep some money in my car in the visor, and so if it happens to work out where I'm coming out of like a Fred Meyer or a Safeway or something like that, and there's some guy on the corner and he's got a sign and he's wanting money, I'll just pass him some money out the window. That always uplifts me. My writing, I love my writing. It keeps me going. And let's see here. Yeah, the animals really get me. They entertain me out there. I have some great pictures of raccoons taking baths in my bird baths, and
Yes.
really silly things. And I think I sent that picture to you also. And then when I go for a walk, I take pictures of, there's just been a bunch of fall pictures, and a picture of Mount Rainier is on my walk, and I love doing that. And Destiny, when you were saying, some of the things that you do, my vibration plate, if I get on my vibration plate, that just really sets me up for the day. If I get on that thing after, usually I eat breakfast and then I try to go on that vibration plate for 25 minutes. That usually does it. Anything that I do physically for myself, I'll be really gung ho, like you said. I'll be gung ho for a while and then I won't, and I feel it when I'm not, and so I get back into it, and so that there's always a way. There's always a way out of not feeling good. It's like there's always something that you can facilitate for yourself to get you out of the doldrums, kind of just move that energy. But everything that everybody said, it's like there's that just that ebb and flow of, it's like, okay, so it's this way now, the pendulum's going this way, and then now it's going over in this direction. And there's, there is balance there in the middle, but it's not static. So it's always going to be just this pendulum swinging back and forth for how we feel, the pull of the planets. And so it's just that ebb and flow of feelings, and allowing and surrendering. And my writing reminded me of what you were talking about at the beginning before you turned the recording on from your newsletter. So I don't know if you read that yet, but that it's like that reminded me of that. Anyway, yeah, I think that covers quite a bit. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Susie. Since we started texting or speaking every single day, when we go a day without contact, I miss you. And it's with tremendous gratitude that I thank you for the friendship, the writing, everything that you do and provide for all of us is really awesome. Thank you so much. Sylvie Lightfeather, let's go ahead. I see that you have opened yourself up.
Yeah. So this circle brings so much joy, special this evening. It's so nice to listen to all this, and I can resonate with so many. It's like I have the luck and the pleasure to live by the ocean in a little house, and I'm surrounded by so many plants. Just to see the plants early in the morning when I open the door, and I'm really, at this moment, I'm not there, but I miss it so much. And I open the door and I see all the plants around me, and I see hummingbirds, butterflies. It brings so much joy early in the morning with sunshine, and I have palm trees even close to me, and a whole Leguan family lives there. And sometimes they come down, and it's so, I feel blessed. I really feel blessed. And what else brings me joy is when I share my gifts, when I give a session and I look afterwards in the face of the person I was working on, and I see that there's so much release in this face. This gives me a lot of joy and makes me so happy. To have good conversations, really true conversations, not likely, oh, how is the weather? I don't like these conversations. I like the deep conversations where we can talk about all the things what can be possible, all the things what can be, how beautiful the world can be. I love good food. That brings me a lot of joy if I have really good food. That means quality, fresh food, not like this industrial food. To connect with animals brings me a lot of joy. It's every time really special. In this little town where I live, there's often that stray dogs just come to me. They just want to be cuddled. They just want to be loved. And even here, I have the pleasure to feed every morning stray cats. And right now, one cat is following me in the kitchen. She comes in the house. That's a lot of joy. And she goes around my legs and don't stop. And it's so beautiful. And it brings a lot of joy. At this moment, I help a friend to move in a new house, and we look at all the furniture she has and to transform her furniture. That brings me a lot of joy, like to just make out of something what is seen as old, something really special and new, and give it a new face. Even upcycling brings a lot of joy. I like to upcycle things. It brings me joy to paint. It brings me joy to listen to music. It brings me joy to meditate, and it brings me even more joy to meditate in circles so we all can rise up frequencies. What is amazing, it brings me joy to be here. That's it.
Thank you, Sylvie. That was very, very nice. Now we have some time left. Who's going to be next up? We've got some that have not said anything yet. Jen, anybody? Jen, there you are. Go ahead.
Wow. I'm just amazed. I just love being in the presence of all of you. It's just so uplifting. And I resonate with everybody everybody. I mean, everybody has a different piece. Dr. Dream, what you read in the beginning, is that in the newsletter? What you were reading? Good, because I was going to ask if I could have a copy of it. So yay. Um, yeah, it's just and Susie, of course, listening to your poetic voice and your, I mean, that is very uplifting, beautifully done. Um, there's just so many little pieces. And when you said, when you mentioned getting on the vibration plate, that's on my list too. I have a power plate, and I tell you what, getting that frequency going through your body and the circulation going, if you're starting to feel a little down, a little energy low, picks you right up. Another thing that if I find myself getting in a funk because, um, Phil, I think you talked about it too, and you, Dr. Dream, the whole time you were reading, it's like, yes, I'm that kind of person. I'm a go with the flow kind of person. Sure, we have we have an image or something that we are working towards, but I tend to be more of a, get up and go with the flow. So if I get into a little funk, sometimes for me, if I just put on some of my good jams and I go do something, some little, clear my desk, do the dishes and tidy the kitchen while I'm listening to my music, or baking or cooking. I love to cook, and I love to cook for my family. That always makes me feel good. Um, or I'll put some loud music on and I'll just start singing out loud. I don't care. It's just me, right? um, so yeah, those are some of the things that I know I can do that'll be a quick pick me up. Or I'll pop on a coffee call with a friend and we'll just sit and have our coffee and chat about whatever, or go grab a bite. I have another friend that is in California. She's one of our center owners, and that's how we got to know each other. But we'll send funny little short videos back and forth. And I mean, I'll just find one and it'll make me laugh. And I'm like, oh, she'll appreciate that. And I'll send it to her. And we just laugh back and forth. But those are the little things, just little connections, little things to clear the energy. Sometimes we do, like Dr. Dream said, we're kind of all have our own stuff going on. And sometimes it's just a matter of, sometimes you kind of have to force yourself to get up out of that chair or whatever and pick yourself up. But there are a lot of little things we can do over the weekend. You know, if it's a Sunday and I know I don't have people coming in or anything going on, I allow myself to stay in bed as long as I want. Sometimes it's till the afternoon, and it's just so relaxing. Yeah. And the other day, it was snowing out in the morning when we woke up. So I got up and I opened my curtains, and my view was a row of pine trees all laden with snow and watching the snowfall. And I just snuggled in and enjoyed the quiet of a snow day. But that part is releasing guilt, allowing yourself to rest and be at peace. That's part of it. That's about it for me.
Thank you, Jen. Having been to your property, I can only imagine how beautiful it is, dusted with snow and everything else. And that just felt so good when you said that. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm a snow person. So, and everything you said, as always. And thank you so much for being here. Who do we have? We've still got 21 minutes left in our call tonight. There's
Hello.
still some. Justin, you want to say something?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Go
sir.
ahead.
I was exclusively a light magic practitioner for like well over a decade. And up until recently, I never thought that I would begin to understand and alchemize so much in the lower realms. And this is where I come back into like the thing I spoke about earlier. The lower vibrational experiences, the times to rest and integrate. There is evil in both the light realms and the lower vibrational realms, and understanding the lessons that come from both, and not falling into false light or false darkness. See what's what, and know that those lower realms teach us lessons. Sitting with our demons, if you don't look in the mirror, then that's where they pull you in. So like when I find the lessons in my suffering, and even lower vibrational music, like there are other things that still bring me joy, because without the balance between the two realms, which is our privilege of the vessels that we are, is to bring balance to those realms and bring peace between them as well. We are privileged in the experience and who we are, and we represent to exist in these timelines that we exist in. So I really, if I could leave y'all with something, it's truly to understand that we bring that balance, and when we find it inside of ourselves, we can step into that. Like I've been through so much trauma and so much death, and I'm stepping into being a death doula. Like I'm helping people transition. I'm going and purging spirits. I'm taking demons off of people's vessels. Like I'm doing really beautiful work because of my capacity to have that energy enter me and not be contaminated by it. It does not contaminate my light because my vessel is of mine, and I send it back to source, and vice versa. This is we have the ability to balance the realms and to really embody that. So when we do that, it disseminates out and it begins to proliferate, and we begin to even help more people. Because I see people get into too much high vibe stuff, and they get stuck in condor energy, and then you get into the ego, judgment, and so on and so forth. I've seen a lot of spiritual bypassing within our life communities, and just really recognize that and see that evil exists in both realms, and it has no place and a realm that we are raising the vibration in to heal people. And just practice discernment, y'all. Practice discernment, do your work. I love you.
I love that, Justin. Spoken like a true alchemist, and the scene, the festival scene, and where you maneuver and float in and out of, you are a gift to that environment and those people. And it's good to know that you're out there doing that. Now, who hasn't spoken that would like to jump in right now? There's still a couple. I don't know where Stephanie's at. I know you were at Costco a little while ago, but you're probably almost home here, I hope. And we've still got Karen and a couple others that haven't said anything. This would be a fabulous opportunity for any of you to step up.
Can I add something?
Phil, you most definitely may add something.
Well, Jen brought something up, and talking about snow. And I live in a place where we used to get a lot of snow, and when the snow came and the blizzards, and we would get snowed in, and to where they had to bring in a V plow to plow out my driveway, and that was after 3 or 4 days because the storm had to settle, and that was some of the most joyous times of my life, to be snowed in, because I couldn't go anywhere. Nobody could come to see me. I was like in perfect peace because for those number of days, because I just didn't have to do anything except sit and wait for the snowplow to come. And so, yeah, that I just wanted to bring that up, Jen, because those snow days can be marvelous.
I love that. I've had many snow days myself, and it's like a reprieve from nature, from source, from the universe, from God, saying, hey, you don't really have to go anywhere today. Just settle in, be fine, put another log in the fire. Let's just breathe and enjoy, and wrap yourself in that loved one and a blanket, and that loved one may be yourself. That's special. I like that. Now, my loved one just chimed in. Her microphone's not working, and she wanted to know I wanted us to know that with the little things that lift her up are hugs. And she is one of the best huggers I know. She does the heart to heart hugs all the time, goes out of her way, like she'll duck and move to get to the heart and heart connection. And so she wanted to share that. Is there anyone else that would like to share anything at this moment? I've got Susie, you unmuted. What's happening, dear?
Well, I just wanted to add, there's a couple other things is that when I cook, I don't know how to cook for one. I cook for, all week because cooking once a week is plenty for me. But I'll dance while I'm cooking. I'll usually put on some music and dance. And then I like my jammy days. We don't have snow days, but we do have rain days here. And so I love it's just pouring rain and I will just stay in my pajamas all day long and have all my windows open and looking at the rain. And yeah, it's delicious. So yeah.
Thank you for sharing that, Susie. Anyone else want to jump in here? I've got a few things to share with you, but I'm wide open to anyone else that wants to say anything right now. All right. I'm going to...
Karen's waving.
Deanna.
Karen's waving.
Oh, Karen, jump in. I can't see everyone, so I just go by when I can see when people unmute themselves. But go ahead, Karen.
Karen, you need to unmute yourself.
So Phil, I have to ask, where are you that you get so much snow?
I'm actually in Wisconsin.
Okay.
And we used to get a lot of snow. Now, weather's changed a little bit to where, and I'm fine with it because now I'm a little bit older and I don't necessarily like to go out and have to shovel snow. And I used to run sled dogs. And so when I got snowed in, I could go out and find my dogs who would burrow themselves under the snow, and I could go out and grab my dogs and we'd go for a run. I mean, it was cool. But weather events are very spiritual because it's like God's way of saying, relax.
Chill out.
You don't have to do anything today because I got this.
Well, the reason I asked is because I spent a lot of my young adult life in Buffalo, New York.
Yeah.
We get a lot of snow there.
That's a lot of snow.
Yeah. And so when you said that, I thought, I wonder if he could be, in that area. But the funniest snow story that I think I could share quickly is we moved from Buffalo, New York to Florida. We lived in Florida 24 years, and now we are in North Carolina, and we are called halfbacks. And the first winter we were here, it snowed. They got, I don't even think it was 2.5 inches. John and I went out like nothing. We were going to go to the post office. We're going to go to the bank. Everything was closed. I'm like, what's wrong with the town? Because we just drove it. We learned how to drive in snow, because that was the age that we were. And it just was so funny that they closed the whole town.
We took the tour to Houston earlier this year, back in February, I guess it was. And there was a cold front coming in. And we were in a suburb of Houston. The name of it escapes me at the moment, but it's where we always stay. And they absolutely freaked out that this snow, that this storm, that this ice was going to come in. And I don't even think it was an inch of snow. It was wet and there was ice. The entire town shut down. And Stephanie's from Idaho. I've traveled all over. I've been in major snow and everything. And I was just like, you've got to be kidding me. everything shut down, and we were just like, people are just ill prepared, and then of course they don't get weather like this, so it's always, you got to watch out for those drivers and everything. So it was probably a blessing that they shut things down. But it is funny when you're used to like really adverse weather, and then you go to a place that's not, and all of a sudden everyone's like, what? um I would like to, just before we close out tonight, put something out there. Each week for the last 3 weeks, Daryl, Virginia Dennis, and I have put out daily videos. We put them all out on one day. We try and put them all out on Sunday night. This week we put them out today. But they're all around 15 minutes, sometimes 17, sometimes 11 or 12, 13. And the topics are fabulous. We put out 7 a week at the beginning of the week, so you can go to our website, quantumallianced2.com, Quantum Alliance D, and then the number 2.com. That's for Quantum Alliance D squared, because it's Daryl Dennis and Dr. Dream, D squared, D squared. But these videos are great. We do 7 of them at a time, and we spend about 2 hours making them. It's a fabulous conversation. We call it an opportunity for you to get your quantum boost. And sometimes you may listen to 2 or 3. Susie has loved them. Sometimes you may listen to 2 or 3 of them in a day. Sometimes I know that people are going and they're listening to 1 each day. They're on the website. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel. We just did our 21st video today, so we're being really consistent. We'd like to just reach more people, because that's what we're doing this for. And it's exciting, and I'd love to get your feedback on it. It's a really fun thing. There's no rule that says we can't end early, so I'm going. And does anyone have anything else to say at this moment before I go into the soft close, so to speak?
I'll say something. I'll say one more thing.
I made it. So just another small thing on things that bring me joy is all of you and your being here every week and the connections that we're getting to have. It's just amazing, and I really appreciate you all. So thank you. You bring me joy. I love seeing all your faces and hearing your stories and just having this opportunity to connect. I love you guys.
That was sweet. Didn't know that was going to happen right now. All right. Anyone else before I go into our closing statements?
Yes, so just concisely put, I just acknowledging alignments and like synchronicities. As soon as we're talking about snow and people driving slow, so just getting back to Ohio. I'm super used to snow. The worst drivers I ever saw was when I went through a snowstorm in Texas. Like I literally went around 2 miles of car and shorts and muck boots. I pushed my partner's car around the semi that caused the block. And a guy named Justin that shared the same name as me, who had just got out of prison, and he walked off a bus because things were getting so bad with the drunk person. He helped me push my car, and I took him to the gas station. And as I pull in and you guys are talking about it, I hit the first piece of snow in Ohio, and people are driving slow. I'm like, y'all must be from out of state.
Justin, I definitely appreciate you being here this evening. I want to thank everyone. You fall into a different category than the little things that lift me up. You fall into the category of the big things that lift me up, and your not ability, but your willingness to step into this sacred space and open up and be authentic, and to be real, and to share who you are and what you're about each week has been incredible for me. And it's truly special that we get to have this space And without you, it would just be me and Stephanie here. So thank you so much for showing up, I don't really believe that you could show up here in this space with all of us if you weren't already showing up in your own lives. And that's amazing and incredible. And I look around and I see Washington State, I see Kansas City, I see Northern Idaho, I see Wisconsin, I see Florida, I see Ohio, I see Mexico. I see all these areas, Kansas, and what I know is that you are anchoring energies. North Carolina, you are anchoring energies in your community. And we don't always know exactly what that means and what that ripple effect is. And we may never know until we're on the other side of this human experience. But I honor each and every one of you for being you in this life and for stepping up in the ways that you are, because it's nothing short of beautiful and amazing. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. You can, and I don't like the word judge, but you can judge yourself based on the people that you surround yourself with. And I'm looking, and this is the It's All Good circle, and I'm looking at the people that are surrounding me, and I'm like, wow, that absolutely lifts me up in this moment. I want to thank you, and I want to close the way I always do. I love each and every one of you, and I am grateful for your existence, and I am grateful for your support of this circle and your giving and sharing. And I know it's not just me that feels that way. So thank you very much for being here. And next week, we'll have another exciting topic with good conversation and fill up our cups again. Thank you, and I love you. Be safe out there, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Thank you. I love you too. I love you all.
Good night.
Thank
Night.
you.
I
Lots
Blessed
of love
be. Have a
to
good night.
everyone.
Good night.
Good night.